right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of The Big Sad. I'm your host, Jason Johnson, along with
Jack Neal
and
Blake Bolton.
Hell yeah, all right. If this goes well, this will be our first filmed episode.
Right on. I could, that makes sense why you clapped.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
That way,
Relax.
The board is sending to the camera, but just in case that recording's not good, I wanted to be able to put this recording over that. Then I want to be able to sync them. So, yeah, I did the clap.
Yeah. My days of college classes came back on that one.
Oh, yeah.
I never got to do that. That felt cool to be a part of.
Might get me a.
I guess.
I might get me a clapboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're in the new studio. Yeah, I got everything set up finally. We got the table set back up. We're going good here.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm digging it, man. It's a lot of fun. Getting this all set up and being like, all right, yeah, cool. This is finally kind of what the vision was, having an actual studio.
Well, the blue in the room looks real nice. I dig the blue.
Yeah, I do too. That was Dylan's choice when this was his room.
Yeah.
And it was, it worked out really well. In fact, he liked it so much, we painted his new room blue. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. And so, but no, man, this is pretty awesome. And, hopefully we'll have some more stuff coming in here as far as shows and stuff. I'm already thinking about ideas for different podcasts and stuff like that to do in here. That way we can do a lot of different things.
Oh, I just saw my little Joker thing.
Yeah. This is
cool.
my listening room. And I put that up there. And then whenever I have a CD in, it's, that goes on there to show what's currently playing on that little stand. But yeah, the Joker card's up there to fill space when it's. Plus, I really like it. I thought that was cool as shit, man.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, your listening room.
Yeah, music, man. I come in here and blast everything, not bother a soul.
I thought you were simply coming in here to meditate, listen, listen to your heartbeat, your breath.
Yeah,
take it all in.
Self-diagnose.
Yes.
I heard a heart murmur. I've got to go to the doctor now.
Yeah, mine would just be a self-deprecation. You idiot, you idiot.
What the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit! But yeah, so what's going on with you fellas?
Now you're talking about a listening room. I was talking to him about it earlier. I got a earwax cleaning kit came in today. Life changer.
Yeah.
I can hear again for the first time in probably over 10 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I did not know how bad it had gotten until I cleaned out my ears, and I was like, holy shit, I can hear birds chirping from inside. And dude, it just put me in such a good mood, so I feel great.
Were you screaming at first?
What do you mean?
Hey, how's everyone's day going? Blake. Why?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't yell, but I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
Every time people would talk to me, I'd just assumed they were mumbling or weren't talking loud, but I'm like, oh, fuck, it was me.
Did you worry you were going deaf at any point?
I always blamed it on my first job was car audio. So I just told myself, I was like, oh, I just fucked up my ears when I was 16.
Yeah.
And it probably, I might not have the best hearing still, but now I'm like, it's so much better.
Yeah.
Genuinely, probably 2 times the hearing that I had yesterday.
Yeah. I used to have the same problem you had. And my doctors would clear everything out and all that jazz. But now, it pisses me off so bad. I'm getting old man ears because, fuck, I'm going to be 50 in November. This shit happens, you know. And I can't hear shit anymore. And so I go to my doctor and I'm like, look in my ears. I think I'm all clogged up again or whatever, Yeah. Nope. And she'll even, my doctor's so honest, she just looks at me and goes, no, you're just old.
Damn.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I need readers now to go along with my contact lenses. And she's like, yeah, you're old. You can't, it's going to happen.
Damn.
So, yeah. Apparently, from what they say, everybody is, when they turn 40, your eyes are going to go bad. It doesn't matter if you've had 20/20 your whole life, starting at 40, somewhere within the next few years, you're going to go bad. But here's a good story about that. My brother calls me the other day, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, I noticed when I would be trying to, like, read a book or something, like, I couldn't really focus. I couldn't really see what was going on. But then I noticed as I kind of looked up, everything would come into focus. I'm like, okay. He said, yeah, so I went to my eye doctor the other day. He said, and didn't realize that last year when I got my eye exam, they put me in bifocals. I was looking through the wrong lens. He had bifocals for an entire year and just thought his eyes were fucked up.
What, just misreading the paperwork? They gave him the wrong glasses?
Yeah, they gave him a +1, but he said what happened was when he went in to get his glasses, they were like, this is a +1. We don't necessarily need to do this yet, and all. And I guess he thought they were saying, we're not going to put the bifocal lenses in, but they were like, hey, it's what's on the paper, put the bifocal lenses in. So when he picked them up, he thought he just had his regular glasses.
Yeah.
And then he said he got home after he talked to his eye doctor this time and started looking through the bottom of his glasses at the books, perfect. And then he would look up at the TV, perfect. But he noticed, if he bent his head down and was looking through the top lenses, he couldn't read shit. But
just a year of your life.
1 year of your life.
That was 2023 for him.
1 year in your life
trying to figure out vision.
Well, that was, they say you discover stuff about yourself when you turn 40. And in December, JT turned 40. And so, I guess he discovered that, oh, shit, I've been wearing bifocals for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I forget bifocals are like a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just hearing that word sound like it's...
Dude, before my dad had his eye surgery and then before he went blind, he had trifocals. Yeah. There was the bottoms are for reading, the tops are for seeing far, and then there's a third thing that you can't focus on, that there's a little circle up in the corner, and you can look up in that circle and it'll make that clear.
Like your peripheral vision?
Yeah, it's up in here because it's not shit that you normally focus on, but if you need to,
It's like having one of those little circles on your side view mirror in your car.
Yeah.
Just for those special occasions.
I think it's the most fucked up thing in the world, though. They say, God's a perfect God, creates everything perfectly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got one lens on my eye. How's it seeing three different fucking things differently? Yeah, that's real perfect. Yeah.
If that's your starting complaint with God, buddy.
Oh no, there are many more.
You got a long list to go.
Shit. So are we going to talk about the big thing that's going on in the country right now, or are we just going to say fuck this?
I don't what
L.A. and partially other cities.
Oh,
Ice, baby. I don't know anything about it. Other than it just sucks.
You're sitting on a meme right now of that while they're just throwing rocks off that overpass, dude.
Last night I kept trying to think of, I couldn't. It was too dumb, but I was trying to think of how to word like ordering Mexican Coke but no ice.
Wait, say it again? I'm sorry.
I don't know. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Ordering Mexican Coke, but no ice.
No ice is in the... Okay.
Yeah, but it just never happened, so I didn't say anything. That's the first I've said it out loud. I'm glad I didn't say anything.
So I just didn't say anything. You're just standing on stage looking at your feet for 4 minutes. I'll come up with it in a second, folks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what do you say? There's some fucking badass images coming out of it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Photography is amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing a very good job of documenting everything.
Yeah. I will say that the only thing that it just doesn't look good if you are like rioting or whatever, like, because we know the cop side doesn't look good because they're shooting reporters with rubber bullets.
Right. Yeah.
But it doesn't look good for you to run around waving any other flag right now than an American one. It's like this is the place that you can come and freely express yourself. Which I guess, with that being said, you can express whatever flag, but don't even take it as the American flag. If someone was walking around with like the British flag or French flag or an Australian, Irish, whatever, you'd be like, what is going on? Why? Like, what? There's just a million people in the streets. Shit's on fire, and they're holding the fucking Swedish flag. What? Why? This is weird.
You mentioned something last night that I fully believe is going on, because these people have all they can talk about is how dedicated they are to peaceful protesting. You know, they're putting out messages and shit. And then every now and then, yes, in one little spot, there'll be a little fire. In another little spot, there'll be a brick thrown through a window or something. And it's well known that back during the 60s and 70s, the CIA and the FBI were conducting COINTELPRO. And they would have agents that would go out and do some little something like that, trying to get the crowd started, so that they can, that way the government can come in and say, no, look what they did. And I firmly believe that's happening here.
Oh, yeah.
They are these people, all I see is how dedicated these people are to say, no, we are going to peacefully resist. We're going to peacefully do this. And then, there's one or two little, things here, there, and everywhere else.
I was going to say, it's not little, though. I mean,
it starts out that way.
But but then you got literally an entire overpass hauling just chucking those things. So you got, which I thought of you, dude. I thought of you with the fucking taxis, man. I felt so bad for you.
Leave Waymo alone, you fucking CIA pieces of shit.
But you got a whole line of those on fire. You're like, oh no.
The thing about it is, though, is this has been remarkably peaceful, though, for as provoked as these people have been. Because if you look at protests, not the riots and stuff that happened back in the 60s, but the protests, the cops stand there. They form a line. They stand there. They don't do anything to provoke the crowd or anything. And these days, it's like, nah, let's go fire some rubber bullets at them. We'll throw some tear gas over at them. Fuck it. Let's just let's see what we can get them to do.
Yeah, I saw like the Austin one they tried doing, and I was like, God damn, these cops jumped on this shit quick. They were throwing tear gas within 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, that seems like you're really jumping the gun. It made sense. I feel like on the other side, like after 3 days worth of almost. Whatever, but like that Austin one, I'm like, but it's gonna. I mean, I'm just firm. Like I told Addie, I was like, I'm so close. Even if you don't know about it from buying a gun, like you have no clue because it's about to kick off. I think, and I don't like it, but
it's only a matter of time. If things don't change, if there's not some changes made. It's only a matter of time until there's a leader amongst that group that comes out and says, we've tried peaceful. Shit ain't working. We're going to have to go do something else. And that's where it gets hairy and gets scary.
I don't know what you're talking about, though, when the violence is happening. Like, literally.
But you got to remember, though, you said it last night. You're across town over here.
Yeah.
Over here across town, there's an incident that happens because some idiot, government fucking one of the protesters or not, gets overzealous and sets some shit on fire or whatever.
Isolated incidents.
But these
small,
cops,
not street longs.
These cops hear about it or call it out on the radio over here. These cops are now watching for it. They say, fuck it. And they start quelling the crowd. That's when our rubber bullets start flying and shit like that. You got to remember.
First off, I have no clue what you're talking about. I wouldn't even been able to put that together.
You said that last night.
No, I never said one incident going on over here is basically the radio is going to now make them start to dissipate this crowd.
Yeah.
What I did tell you last night is I don't know who it is, left or right. Someone is fucking paying people to do this shit. That was what
but here's my big thing,
talked about.
Here's my big thing is that's what happens with this shit. That's how it goes wrong. That's why you have to, if it is one of the protesters, then the other protesters should be ashamed of themselves for not grabbing that motherfucker and bringing him back and saying, hey, don't set this car on fire. It's going to set a whole string of goddamn cars on fire. You got to be smart. We're doing this peacefully.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing that I don't see happening is these crowds are not policing themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what has to happen, because all it takes, like I said, all it takes is that one incident, and they're going to say, and the cops are going to decide, well, if it happened there, it's going to happen over here. We've got to just stop this. Mm-hmm. And then mass chaos ensues.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was taking it very literally as a city. You're talking about countrywide?
Countrywide, citywide.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
if an incident happens in East Austin, and then all of a sudden, all the way across town over in West Austin or up north in Round Rock, they decide, oh, well, we can't have that up here, so we're going to go ahead and break this up now. Yeah. And then, again, mass chaos. And so the one thing I was happy about seeing, and I was very happy about seeing, is all of my military friends that I've talked to so far, I'm sure there's some that aren't, but have agreed that calling in military troops for this was a bad fucking idea.
No.
You do not call in active duty Marines to go and quell a fucking protest in the streets of a town in America.
Yeah.
Excuse me, in America. Cops are there to serve and protect the people of this country. The military is to go and destroy enemies of the state. Mm-hmm. This is not our fucking job.
Yeah.
You know, and I even saw a couple of articles where the majority of the vets that were writing in, because the paper basically asked for their opinion. Mm-hmm. You know, what do you think of this? And the majority of vets writing in were going, bad move, bad move. You've got you know, a few thousand Marines sitting there that have been trained to do nothing but search and destroy a fucking enemy. What happens when one fucking guy is stupid enough to throw a fucking rock at one of them? All hell breaks loose.
Yeah, that'd be somebody.
Yeah, and so this is, and plus it's just not our job.
Yeah.
It's just not our fucking job. But you know, hey, what are you gonna fucking do?
I still say you take the 6 people on January 6th, that the retarded Avengers, I call them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you put them against the guy standing on the Waymo taxi with the Mexican flag, mm-hmm. and you have them fight it out.
Yeah.
Because I gotta be honest, it looks like the guy on the Waymo thing will beat the shit out of all 6 of them. I'll give it to Mexico on that one. You put up a hell of a fight for sure. Yeah, that's what I want to see. That's all I've been thinking about today. It was a comic book called The Retarded Avengers.
Nice.
Is
their leader the guy with the horns coming out of his hat?
No, that's what you think.
Yeah.
But it's actually...
He's basically the Hulk character.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you would think. You'd think he'd be the most powerful, but
right.
No. It's Captain America who's the best.
Yeah.
Not Iron Man. I couldn't think of anything. Yeah.
Waymo, there's way more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah. The funny part,
I don't know what y'all.
I honestly wish you were in the crowd saying shit like that.
Yeah. You have a portable fucking PA system. Mm-hmm. You're just walking around. Hey, look at that right there, and just throwing fucking zingers at them.
I'm shocked there's not a desperate comedian out there doing that right now.
Yeah,
Street Mike.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know, but again, what the fuck are we gonna do about it? You know, honestly, I sit in my fucking house, do my thing.
I don't know.
You know, hopefully cooler heads prevail, and you know,
I think it will. I mean, I think it's definitely going to change a lot, but I don't think this will be one of those where they go, yeah, when this happened, all these fucking things happen,
right?
And now that's why you're whatever. Oil mining or whatever in your fucking 70s as a colony, you know, like something like that is going to be the thing.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I tried for like
oil mining.
I couldn't think of anything, dude. What do you want from me? What can you
drilling?
Yeah.
Well, that's like a future thing you could mine for.
Picking at the oil.
Lithium
mining.
There you go.
Does that work better for
Yeah,
you?
way better. Thank you.
Fucking couldn't throw in a single tag during that whole entire fucking thing.
I was literally the whole time just thinking like, if you're gonna bring in the National Guard, have them protect Waymo. Somebody.
Yeah.
That's my main concern.
What the fuck is your deal with Waymo, man?
I don't know, man.
Like statistically now, there's probably more deaths of Waymo cars than injuries. Humans.
Nice.
Not right.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Nice.
That's what we call a keeper, Blake.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great one, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Waymo paying you, but dude, as long as those checks keep clearing, you keep going, my friend. God damn it, dude. That's really good. I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
That fucking I'll tell you one thing they could fucking start setting on fire, them goddamn razor scooters or them whatever fucking
bird scooters?
Bird scooters, yeah. God damn.
I was in the middle of Wimberley today. I mean, out there.
Yeah.
Out there. This is the only gas station that everyone was so excited because it's at least gas that's close to the middle of nowhere of this area in Wimberley. And two people were there in bird scooters. I'm like, how are y'all going to get home? Like, like, do you just keep these at your house? Like, it was crazy.
Them fucking things, man. It never fails in Austin when I'm up there now. I'll be pulling out of a parking lot and I'll be about to go because there's finally a clearance in traffic. And right in front of me, some guy on a bird scooter that I nearly splatter all over the fucking ground.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys have got to start realizing that Jesus Christ, there's cars in the road. We can kill you. We won't mean to, but maybe. But we could.
I just don't. I think you should. This is.
Hit them and just say fuck it and they'll learn.
No, this is definitely a stepped on whatever premise, but it's like you should literally have to blow in a breathalyzer to get on one of those fucking things.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean.
Oh, you know that 99% of the time it's somebody that don't want to drink and drive.
That business would go under if that were the case.
Huh?
That business would go under if that were the case.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're for, is drunk people to think, oh, this is a loophole. And legally, yeah, you can't, but like, there's no way that's ever enforced to a degree that makes a difference.
I don't know. All I know is I saw Addie get on one of those, and she drove to as far as she could, and we were supposed to be going to Buzzmill, which was on Riverside, and I forget, we were basically at the IHOP in downtown. And she thought she was like, just get on. We'll go from here to Buzzmill. And I'm like, you have to get on 35 to do that. And she was like, it's fine. Like, we'll just stay on the side. And I'm like, yeah, you need to. And then I swear to God, every time I told someone that, they were like, oh, they don't go on the highway. I'm like, you think that's my fucking point? Like, her mind told her you could just do that. Yeah. At some point, she's some dizzy enough lady who's gonna go, I bet I can jump on this too.
I do they, because I know they have like GPS in them, because that's how people go scoop them up to charge them. Will they shut down if you try to take them in areas?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you take it to a black neighborhood, it will shut down.
Yeah.
No, if you take it onto a freeway, apparently it'll stop, which is, hey, cool. But guess what? Now you just have a thing that's gonna crush you harder when a car hits you. You know, like, it's gonna ricochet into your fucking head. I don't know. I don't want to date an amputee.
I started laughing as soon as you said you were at the IHOP, because I know exactly what IHOP y'all are at. And y'all were going to Buzzmill. It's like, no, they weren't. Not on those.
If you went from where you exit Riverside, to get to Buzzmill, like off 35, I still wouldn't want to ride a fucking bird scooter. That's too far for me. Like,
well, it's not even about far, man. On that road alone, on Riverside, the fucking traffic is in fucking insane, man. I ain't dealing with the cars possibly weaving off the road, because you got to remember, for as many scooters as there are around, and as many Waymos, there's still a lot of people drunk driving out there, man.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, man. I was behind one the other fucking night, man. This dude was weaving all over the fucking place. I was like, Jesus, how in the fuck do you think you're okay to do this, man? He's on the interstate doing 50 miles an hour and weaving between the fucking lanes.
Well, I was putting my hand out the window telling you to go around.
I know. But
hurry up, get around me.
Don't worry, I've got the path memorized.
That was a thought that I had a while ago. I was like, I love when I really don't think that I've done it. I've been drunk and driven, but typically it's just like the little buzz. But I love, that's when you're the most judgmental of other drunk drivers. Is when you're buzzed yourself and you're like, these fucking idiots can't do it.
Yeah.
They're not near as good as I am.
Yeah, there's something fun about that.
Yeah, I used to tell you I was great at it, and people would be like, you have 2 DWIs. I'm like, 1 pullover, license plate out. 2nd, registration. Nothing had to do with my fucking driving. And they were like, that's the saddest shit I've ever... You have the record in your head. I do get kind of frustrated, though, with drunk drivers now. I know it's hypocritical or whatever, but it does kind of piss me off. I'm just like, just get an Uber, man. Just get over, like, either become a social person or just be the awkward weirdo in the back of the car looking at your phone, scrolling, and you know you're not reading anything. You're just hoping this guy doesn't want to kill you. Like, that's... Right. Become one of those 2 people, but, man, it's so... It's so lame, I guess, to say, but very true. It's so much cheaper than a DWI.
Yeah.
And
maybe
cost you 10 minutes for an awkward conversation.
Yeah.
Cost you 2 years to have that same awkward conversation with a probation officer. Yeah. It's so many pluses. You hear that? All right.
Yeah. Dude, the military was crazy on that shit. They had all kinds of programs and shit. We had a recall roster, which was basically a phone tree. And so...
What's a phone tree?
That's where you have everybody's phone numbers listed. And like somebody is above you, they call you, and then you call the next person and the next person. Yeah, and that way they could recall us back in. Well, I always gave the recall roster to the guys, and we're like, hey, call me. We also had free taxi rides that they gave us a stack of cards, and hey, everybody, be safe as we.
I remember my short time in a fraternity was similar. They took it real serious.
Oh yeah.
And you had to like sign up, or not sign up, but like you would be chosen as the DD for a week, and it would rotate. And dude, it was a fucking job.
It was ridiculous. We would get, all of a sudden you'd be sitting there on a Saturday morning, and everything would be whatever, and we'd all of a sudden recall. And we'd have to go in, and some asshole got a DUI, and they recalled in the whole goddamn squadron to give us a fucking lecture and just inconvenience everybody basically and say, look at this fucking idiot. And and I mean, we would have, squadron route punishments and shit. So, people just avoided the fuck out of it. You do whatever you can not to drive fucking drunk. I never drove drunk. That's one thing. Never. Not one time have I ever drank and got behind the wheel of a car. But that's just because it was taken so fucking seriously and we had so many options.
What a loser.
Well, you also got to remember the type of drunk I was. When I was drinking heavily, I was a blackout fucking drunk. I couldn't even see the car to get into the fucking thing.
That does make sense. Like, if you don't have that middle ground.
Yeah.
If you go to 0 from 100, you like.
Yeah. And that was me. It was 0 to 100 every fucking night. I was going to go until I was blackout fucking hating me and everyone around me.
Boy, I had a couple Phoenix Saloon nights like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just walking in the car being like, I don't know where my car's at. I think I've walked down the street. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just followed the little airplane bottles of Fireball all the way back.
I fucking, it's funny. You did, for the most part. There were a couple nights where I was actually like, oh shit, we got to stop him.
You should have.
And we should have. But for the most part, though, like, you would seem perfectly normal, perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And then I would talk to you the next day, and you'd be like, I'm so fucking hungover. I was so goddamn drunk last night. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think I've said this before, but when I met with the lawyer for my DWI in Austin, she was like as I was telling her everything, she was like, hang on. She was like, have you been drinking today? And I was like, no. And she was like, do you smoke? Are you high? And I was like, no. And she was like, and you don't take any other narcotics? No. And she like pulled out this notebook and she was like, wrote something. She was like, okay, I just needed to be reminded that like you're always going to sound like this.
Like the drunk version of resting bitch face.
Yeah, exactly. She just thought I was like, yeah, that's how I talk.
Resting stone face.
Yeah, it was very funny though. Even Addie was like, oh my god.
Every day's 420 for Jack Neal.
Yeah, bro. Comes around twice a day, brother.
Literally sounded so fucking high just trying to say that.
Yeah. Oh, I told y'all yesterday. Whatever. Yeah, I fucking found that weed. Oh.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. What a reveal. Next subject.
Yeah.
I remember you showed me the picture of it, and I thought it was like, oh, like we found this and we had to report it and do this. And I was like, no, we just divvied it up.
Yeah,
Nice.
we found like 6 or 7 jars of weed and like 4 just packages. I have no clue where these fuckers came from to come visit, but I mean, they had pipe. I mean, it's just crazy. Like I just literally walked upon a bag and there was a bubbler out or whatever, and I'm like, oh, they brought a bunch of wax or whatever, which I would have just thrown away because I don't even know who, how, where I would take the. I opened that shit up. I was like, mother. And on each jar, it said $60. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And there were like 4 or 6 jars. I don't know how much the other stuff was. It was crazy.
Like unopened? Or mostly there?
One of the packages was opened. And then, that's why I got all excited thinking about it. Because I took 2 packages. Because I was like, I'm going to be alone at some point in the next, like, 3 years, hopefully, you know? So I was like, oh, I'll just have some. Or, you know, be an adult, and if anyone wants to smoke at my house ever, have something if they want it. Yeah. But, dude, I tried. Like, I called the office, and they were basically like, throw it away or keep it. We don't really care. So I'm like, okay. And I had a list in my head. I was just making calls, and finally I was like, the last 2. I was like, if these 2 don't take it, like, I guess I'm just gonna sell it, but I don't even know how I'm gonna go about it. I was gonna call up Shootsy and just be like, you got $100? I got a score for you or whatever. But I tell you, I never felt. I said it on stage last night. Of just like, I knew I couldn't take it all home because I had to drive Jacob and possibly get Brody. But I was like, that wasn't before I at least drove around with it for about 4 hours in my car to feel real cool. Right. Like, I've never had this much on me or nothing. I even thought it all out. I threw the fucking I threw the pipes and shit out because I was like, if I'm gonna get busted with all this shit, I'm not gonna have any evidence of being smoked. Not even thinking, well, it's not really going to matter when they find this amount on you, especially with this band trying to go on. I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, that was definitely a different experience with this fucking job. It was nice though. Went to a good home.
Nice. Nice.
All that being said, I haven't smoked in like probably a year.
Damn.
So if I really don't think I'll ever smoke. It's going to be like 5-10 years when.
I took one hit a few weeks ago at Wake the Dead after. Took a single hit of somebody's blunt, and within 2 minutes I looked at everybody and was like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
And it was the worst night I've had.
I just gave all my weed smoking paraphernalia to friend of Dylan's.
Yeah.
I had like one of them $125 starry fucking, burners and shit. But like when I first got out of the military, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to be a weed smoker again. And then, dude, the shit they're smoking these days, I did not like where the fuck it took me to. I was like, where the fuck am I?
Well, I got tired of the chase. So, this is how you know you're an addict. The chase was way more fun than getting high.
Yeah.
But then I got really tired of the chase because someone would get busted, so then you'd have to try to find a new connect and a new number. And then you'd show up to the person's house. This legitimately happened one time. I bought a vape off somebody.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Even when I like switched batteries and shit out, and I was like, hey, this isn't working.
Yeah.
And he was like, come over, I'll show you how to use it or whatever.
Right.
Went over there. It was like some 19 or 20-year-old kid. And it's like him, his buddies, like frat dudes or whatever. I'm just like, well, this is fucking weird. Like, I'm a 30-year-old man at this kid's house. It's pretty obvious, I guess, why I'd be here.
Right.
And then he was like, yeah, I guess it doesn't work. And I was like, so you got another one? And he'd be like, yeah, it's going to be like 30. I'm like, no. This is called an exchange. This is a default product. You have to take care of that. And he was like, all right, I guess. Like, almost like, all right, old man. Like, what the fuck, dude? And I was like, oh, so in this town, I'm always going to have to go to these college kids.
Yeah.
And then it was... Dude, I got to be honest, I love that response of him just being like, I don't want to.
I mean, he really was like, it was very clear.
It's kind of one of those things where he could just be like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, for sure.
Are you going to call the cops on me because I sold you a bad pen?
Well, at the time, I would have fucking...
You could beat the shit out of him.
Literally scream raging on his thing. Give me the fucking button. Right. But yeah, once I stopped chasing it, and then I'd smoke, and my brain would go crazy, and I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
Smoking's not fun.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I just there was that last time I smoked was that night at Wake, and I was like, no, I could never do this again.
I don't think. I mean, he definitely wouldn't have had it because it wouldn't have made sense. But like, I left Jason when I came outside. It was like he was like wrapped in a blanket. He was like, oh,
dude, it was crazy. Nuts. That dude said, "Hey man, you want to hit this pen?" I'm like, "Sure, man." I hit that fucking pen. And it was almost instant fucking taneous.
Yeah.
And I was gone. I mean, I was seeing shit. Like, I couldn't open my eyes because I was making sure I was just watching this light show happen in my fucking behind my eyelids and fucking, and I couldn't form a coherent fucking sentence. I was gone. I was like, wondering if the world was fucking real or not. And I was like, yeah, this is just, nah. I don't like being altered. I don't like being out of control.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't mind it occasionally. So I kept the shit. But other than that, doing it on the regular.
Shrooms are still fun.
I want to do shrooms so fucking bad.
A friend a few weeks ago had some like edibles like infused with shrooms or something. I don't know. But they were like, they're not crazy. I don't remember the percentage or grams or whatever the fuck it was, but I do remember taking them, and for the first maybe like 30 minutes being like, oh fuck, it's been a while and this is crazy. I remember going to the bathroom by myself because there was like quite a few people over, so I got a little like overstimulated, and I just remember looking, they had like hardwood floors in the bathroom, and there were like little like knots in the wood on the floor. And the whole time I was just like, man, there's so many nipples on the floor. There's just way too many nipples. And it felt like I was in there for hours. And then I came out and I kind of like calmed down, and then it was fun. But yeah, I don't know.
I want to try it one day, but the time is just passing where it's like, whatever. Probably all the kids will be out of the house or some shit, and we'll just stumble upon and be like, okay, I'll try it. That was the best way to do.
I want whatever the fuck it is that puts me in a room full of nipples.
Yeah, right. Pretty good. Yeah, 20 minutes later, they're like, "Get out of here!"
You're just sucking on the wall.
Yeah.
The milk is so good.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd go into that experience. I've done acid one time, and it was great because I had no expectations, and I really didn't care about my day-to-day or anything. So I was like, this rocks. I'll never do it again because I'll know how much fun it was, and I'll be wanting that, and it won't happen. Then I'll get frustrated in the trip, and I'll ruin the whole trip. Lock that away.
I tried acid one time, but it was the typical Arkansas experience. Yeah, man, I can get you some acid. And I didn't get it. It was a friend of mine who went and got it. Did nothing. It was fucking, it was bunk shit. The guy sold him some fucking dissolvable paper or some shit, you know, and so I was like, you know what? Fuck this. It's just ridiculous. As long as the shit's illegal, there's always going to be people out there scamming like this and shit. I ain't fucking dealing with this. I'm just never. And then I joined the military and we couldn't do shit.
It is good if you're going to get it and it's not acid.
Yeah.
That's best case scenario is for nothing to happen.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
Better than fentanyl.
Yeah.
Or who knows? I mean, I don't know.
I don't get that shit, man.
Fentanyl, it's everywhere. It kills people.
Well, no. What I'm saying is why are you know this shit kills people? Why the fuck are you cutting your drugs with it? You're killing your fucking customer base. That's the dumbest shit on the fucking planet, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I've had fentanyl, and that shit's amazing.
That's why.
That shit is.
That's why they're cutting it.
It's unfucking believable. It's
I was just about to say, people say it's amazing. That's why.
I've never been more relaxed in my whole fucking life, man. Even when I fell through my roof. And the paramedics
that use medically, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the paramedics, they hit me with 2 doses of fentanyl, man, and I was gone. It was so much fun. I was cutting jokes with them, fucking sitting there. I got a spine broken in 4 places, and I'm just sitting there doing a tight 5 with them. I'm fucking.
I like to think they walked up with the little mini spoon under your nose.
Yeah.
Like 1 hit, 2 hit.
Snort this, dude.
Yeah. You know, that wasn't a prescriptive way.
Man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They hit me with, what else did they hit? Laudanum. Is that what it's called? Or in Lauden? I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's another opioid. And when I got to the emergency room, they hit me with that. And next thing I remember, I'm waking the fuck up, and they're like, "Yeah, we did a bunch of tests, and yeah, you broke your spine, and blah blah blah."
Now you just have me thinking about the medical professionals acting like drug users. Anybody got a credit card? Like, just,
You're just chopping up lines over there.
I need a mirror stat.
assistant. Just, oh man.
Got some guy in a corner with dreads measuring out grams.
Is he supposed to be in here?
Yeah, fucking, yeah, that was wild. And holy shit, dude, whenever I had my heart attack, that was the crazy one. They had 2 IVs in me. I had 1 in each arm, and they were putting shit in one arm to stop the heart attack and thin my blood. In the other arm, she's like, Dilaudid, that's what it's called. And she goes, all right, we are about to hit you with a ton of Dilaudid. You're going to feel real good here soon. And I look over, and they got this fucking syringe. It's fucking huge, and they just, and I was gone.
Nice.
Yeah, I was fucking done. They hit when Rose went into the hospital with her preeclampsia. She was about to die, so Dylan had to be born that night. But preeclampsia causes so much pain in your head; it's a huge headache, and she's sitting there dying. And the hospital in Misawa, Japan, is built underground. That way, if we're ever under attack, the hospital's secure, you know.
They learned their lesson.
Yeah.
That's right.
We learned this.
So it's underground, and they were like, all right, yeah, we got to stop these headaches. She's hurting so bad. They said, hit her with the Demerol, and the nurse comes over, pushes the Demerol in. Underground, mind you. And Rose is laying there. She's like, oh, God, look at those pretty birds. They're so beautiful. I'm like, we're underground right now, Rose, but you just keep on thinking you're seeing birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
She
hilarious.
asked for some drugs, and they said, "Them are all we got."
How long were you sitting on that one?
Just then, that's it.
said Demerol.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Demerol we got.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
Are you an expat? Oh my God.
The fucking yeah, that was a wild night, man. Yeah, we went in there a month early. And so the doc goes, I said, well, I said, what's going to happen? He said, you're going to have a baby. I said, yeah, I know, in a month, but until then, what are we going to do to fix her? And he goes, no, you're having a baby right now. And I immediately went into panic mode.
Yeah.
Like, really? Holy fuck.
Yeah.
But it was cool. He came out. He couldn't breathe properly, so he got to have his first plane ride that day. We hopped in a plane, went to Okinawa. They put him in the neonatal ICU, the NICU, and yeah, it was a hectic fucking day.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Going from underground to up, so really far up to
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
to really
yeah.
far down.
All the elevations.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That is always funny whenever it's if you ever become a parent or whatever, it's funny how much they don't give a fuck you're in the room.
Yeah.
They could get, yeah.
Yeah, the only time they ever care is when the dad actually passes out. Mm-hmm.
And they move you
they just shove you to the side.
because you're going to get in the way.
Yeah.
You could literally walk in there with a gun and be like, I'm going to blow everyone's fucking head. And before you can get it out, they're going to go, move, just move. I don't care what
We're
you
gonna
do.
deliver a baby, fuckhead.
Do
Fuck
that over
off.
there. I was kind of thinking about that a couple of days. I don't know what made me think of it, but I was like, I remember having to call an ambulance for my brother 10 years ago, at least 15 years ago, and being so mad that the ambulance crew, whatever, the medical professionals that showed up, were just so nonchalant and just calm and just like, so what have you eaten today? And I'm like, help him, he needs help. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, why are they not losing? And then I was like, oh, they do this every fucking day. They don't give a shit.
I goddamn sure don't want the guy taking care of me that's like, oh my God, fuck, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know, I want the guy to walk in and go,
Yeah, I don't know why that.
seen this shit before. Hey, somebody bring me some forceps. I need to fuck around in there a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know why that only hit me recently. That I was like, oh, it's good that they don't give a fuck. Like, they're calm. It's just what they do.
Hell, you got a needle and thread? I'll sew this fucker up right here. We ain't even got to go to the hospital. That's the guy I want.
Yeah. I think I thought of it because I think I was watching TV or a movie or something, because they'll play it up a little in media or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
To where, like, if you're watching a TV show, like, they'll be a little frantic and like cause drama, but it's like, oh, it's just not how it is in real life. Like, no matter, like, I can't think of a single scenario medically where people that are doing the work are like worried or like frantic.
Are they nervous about doing it?
Maybe they're nervous, but like they don't show any signs of emotion ever.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but it makes sense.
I
don't know.
I got a buddy he's either a heart surgeon or a brain surgeon. And he is just one of the most fascinating fucking people you'll ever talk
Is
to.
he your friend?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I had no clue what the fuck he was going to school for. I just happened to go up for we're all a big friend group, but a guy I grew up with in Beaumont went up to see his graduation, and then turns out the other guy graduated too, and I'm like, I'm like, Preston, what you graduating again? He's like, stuff.
Underwater basket weaving.
It took 7 years.
I
whatever.
do like the idea of you talking to him now and be like, so is it hearts or brains? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, he loves it. Well, what was funny is I was like, Zach, what'd you graduate with? He was like, oh, medicine. Like, I'm going to be a doctor. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. Like, I just treat them both the same. But as I've gotten older and I run into them, if we get like drunk or whatever, they've had to come over and be like, hey, are you two going to come hang out with us? Because I'll sit there and just pick his brain.
Yeah.
There was one time he pulled something out. He's like, look at this. And I was like, okay. And as I was looking through, it was like research he was doing for some, I don't know, it's some project they use now in Houston at this hospital that he wrote from scratch on how to like an easier way to do a certain surgery.
Yeah.
Like, he's just on this other level. If I introduced y'all to him, you'd be like, that guy's a fucking doctor. Like, what the fuck? The only reason you would know is if he always comes to those camping trips. A buddy of mine cut his foot, and it was, dude, he was like a dog that found a bone. Like, he was like, yes, he got his kid. And they were
Buddy went home with a better foot after that.
They asked him something, and he was like, oh, no, I can get heavily sued right now. I'm hammered.
Yeah.
It was great.
Fucking, that shit's nuts. Dude, I didn't, of course, you were around from a heart attack. Did I tell you the cardiologist showed me the actual pictures of what happened inside my veins? They had full pictures of it and everything. This is cool, man. It fucking so the artery that comes over and feeds the heart. So I had some buildup of cholesterol, in there. And what I didn't know is of course they talk about the plaque that cholesterol causes on the inside of your veins, right?
Okay.
But what I didn't know is that shit can pop and it explodes, almost like popping a pimple. But he showed it to me. Inside my vein, there was this little bit of plaque, and then all of a sudden coming out of it in this spiraling pattern. And it just went clean across that fucking artery and just clogged it right then.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And I had no idea that could happen. Yeah, it is
the body, folks.
I just want to use the word. I think those are called vortices.
Vortices. Oh, nice.
When
nice.
you get that airflow of the squiggles.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you,
It's
dude.
a fun word.
Yep.
Vortices.
I barely
You know,
went
like
to
vortex.
Yeah.
That's a bar I went to.
That's a
all I know.
football I used to use by Nerf.
Yeah. Damn.
Vortex.
It's first
Whistling.
Yeah.
Whistling Nerf footballs.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just hell yeah.
Because them things are fun as fuck to throw around, man. Because you can get a really good grip on a Nerf football, man. You can spiral that motherfucker. Like, oh yeah, I used to love throwing around Nerf footballs.
Yeah. We have so many at the house. Just these foam ones all over the fucking place.
You used to have the basketball hoop that hung on the door frame, with the little orange spongy ball.
Yeah.
How many of your foam balls have just a obvious human bite
Chunk.
mark taken out of them?
Not too many of them, but I got a brand newborn that's he can sit up, so crawling's coming. So I have a feeling it's gonna be very, very quick.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Won't be long, man. Him and Jacob will be getting into some shit together.
Yeah, probably. It's pretty dope. We got him like this little walker thing, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Put him in. He can walk around. It's got the wheels and shit. Dude, he's everywhere now. It's like his freedom.
Speaking of, how did Jacob take to being a big brother?
It's not about him, so he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like both of them are. He can express himself now, so
I guarantee you, as soon as he's big enough to move and they can go do things, he'll probably take to it then.
Yeah. Well, so the oldest, he's starting to like it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh yeah, you have emotions and stuff, cool.
Yeah.
And then Jacob he gets very overwhelmed when he cries.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it, because that's how I felt when I was alone with you and you cried. Like, you just never stopped.
Yeah.
This one stops, but you do not stop.
Yeah.
Or did not stop. But I'll see his, he'll do, because he's definitely not off, but he'll like put his fingers in his ears and kind of like crouch over.
Yeah.
Where a lot of us just, want to fucking pull the car off the road whenever that's happening. If your kid's screaming, but you're like, it's fine, we're just going to get home. He's like doing that. So I'm like, oh boy.
Is he autistic?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something going on, but it's not.
I think he's 100%. I would say definitely, ADHD. That's from what we talked about in the past, though, when you and I used to talk about it every day.
Yeah.
But then you got to remember ADHD and low spectrum autism often show up. Mm-hmm. They look exactly alike, and it's hard to tell the difference.
He's definitely got something going on, but it's not enough. We were very worried until this year, and this year it was like, oh, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad it was now and not like 8th grade where you're like, come on, come on, man.
Okay?
Yeah,
but there's a big thing. Used to be. It's not so much now, but there is talk about it coming back of low spectrum autism. Don't tell the kids. You just keep going. If you notice things you can correct them, but don't tell the kids, because once they know it
becomes a crutch.
They try and start acting it. They'll actually go research it, and they have enough access to information now.
Yeah,
they can go research it, and so but then it gets you're getting into ethical shit then of if someone has a disease, do you really not want to, or a condition do you not want to tell them? That's ethically wrong. They need to know.
Well, to your point, he was taking ADHD medication.
Mm-hmm.
And something happened, and I think Addie told him it's just to help your head out, help your brain out, or something. And then he got in trouble at school or something, and he came home. He's like, I don't know. I guess it's just because my brain doesn't work. And we were like, all right. Easily.
It becomes an excuse. It's a crutch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm like, oh no, your handicap is you're a manipulator.
Well, we know a comedian that is extremely offensive. He's never been funny. He's a fucking except for one joke. Yeah. Anyway, and he treats women like absolute shit. Mm. And his whole thing is that anytime anyone calls him out, the first, I'm autistic. Well, no. You can autistic people learn all the time not to do some of the things they do because it's not right. And it's like, fuck you. You're not gonna. That excuse is not gonna fucking work.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's crazy is I've met so many of those type of dudes in comedy. I'm literally getting
this one's really bad though.
I'm like, wait, you've never met this guy? How do you know this guy? Yeah.
It took me a while. I feel like I know who you're talking about.
I don't think you do.
I'll say it after.
Yeah. We'll talk about that after, but that didn't hold muster with me very far at all. Every time he'd do, I'm autistic, I can't help what I do. Bullshit. You can help what the fuck you do. Mm-hmm.
Well, he runs a hell of an open mic at the porch. What can I say about that?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Just kidding, Mitch.
Yeah. I had a it's one of those early years in comedy where you're meeting people. It's kind of the way me and you met.
Yeah.
So one of those down in Beaumont, and I kept telling this other guy, I'm like, no, man, he's got Asperger's. And this dude finally looked at me. He goes, he doesn't have Asperger's, dude. He's a fucking dickhead. Mm-hmm. And he goes, and you know what? He learned Asperger's probably last week in college, and now that's what he is. Yeah. And I was like, it's just so like new and kind of prude to this world. I was just like, oh, no. I'm like,
no one would do something like that.
I'm like, oh yeah, we're all kind of mentally ill in some sort of way.
I feel like also both can be true.
Oh yeah,
for a lot of different things, like just a lot of people with different types of disabilities.
Well,
will use that as an excuse.
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
could learn.
Like you might have that, but you're also just an asshole.
Yeah.
Well, typically, if I've ever, because you run into a couple people like that, typically they'll say hello. With me, you can't really say anything that I'm going to be like, ew, but. They'll see that happen, and then they'll be like, was that weird? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, shit, I need to go address them. And usually that's when they bring it up.
Right.
The guy, like, literally would be like, Hi, I'm so and so. I have Asperger's. Your dress sucks. You're like, Jesus, dude.
Don't be a fucking dickhead, man. People with autism, they do this thing called masking all the time, where they do the thing that's in their head that they think is normal. They get a bad reaction to it, and they realize, okay, I can't say that again out loud. I may be thinking it, but I can't say it. And so they learn to adjust their personality. It's called masking, and they do it. And so, if people can learn, if you can learn to do that, then yeah, pay attention. Read the fucking room. He's a comic. Read the fucking room. You've never gotten a laugh. People hate your fucking guts. Women are fucking scared of you. Fucking stop.
Damn it, I want to know who the fuck this is so bad.
It's fucking Blake. You know who the fuck I'm talking about. No,
as you were saying that, I was like, I can't read a room.
Yeah.
Never done that once.
You're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever need a reason to read a room.
Yeah.
I can. It's not until I get off stage that I form a thought on how it went.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
While it's going, don't know.
Yeah.
You're just up there going through the motions, doing your thing. Yeah. Well, fellas, speaking of going through the motions, it's about time to go through the motion of getting off this thing. I don't have anything. You guys got anything?
Nothing.
All right. Well, until next time, remember, everybody, love each other. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.